We Have Concerns is only possible through your support. Patreon.com/We Have Concerns. You can get shows early, extra content, and more. Check it out. Patreon.com/We Have Concerns.
Okay, so if there were two things that I could change about you.
No, I'm asking you to choose one. What's the stupider?
What's
in
dumber?
your opinion?
Running or Warcraft?
What's the best use of my time among those two choices?
God damn it. Warcraft, because you could have things going on in another window. And
That's a cop-out answer.
And it's not physical. No, this is fucking real, dude.
I listen to
this is fucking
audiobooks.
real.
I listen to audiobooks when I run. That's like having something in another
Fuck
window.
your audiobooks, and fuck how dangerous running is, and fuck how stupid running is. I'm going to say Warcraft because you're on a computer at home safe.
Fair enough.
But they're both shit. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
You're
If you like running or Warcraft, I'm not apologizing. I'll never apologize. I think both things are dumb.
Yeah. This show should be called I'm Never Apologizing. Okay, we got a great story sent in by Aaron Keys. Aaron Keys, an awesome person who I've known sort of,
Collusion.
No, it's
nepotism.
I've never met Aaron Keys, but she is a fantastic person who has done a lot of really cool things. And one of the cool things is she sent in this story about the Dragon Lady.
That's racist.
Well, not that kind of dragon lady, Anthony. No. This is a woman who has, I'm going to attempt it, prosopometamorphosia. I butchered that.
That was not it.
I butchered it.
I don't know what it is, but that's not it.
You want to try that? Read that word at the top.
Prosopometamorpho.
Yeah, almost. That sounded really good.
Prosopometamorphopsia. There's a P on the end that I don't like.
I don't like that P either.
Because prosopometamorphosia I could say, but there's a P, so it's prosopometamorphopsia.
Yeah.
And facial hallucinations. So that entire gigantic word does not include her entire condition. So what is this thing?
This is a crazy mental disease. She's a 52-year-old woman who went to a psychiatric outpatient clinic in 2011 with a lifelong history of seeing dragons. Right. Everywhere she looked, she saw people's faces transform into dragons. She saw dragons wandering around. Her whole world, she saw dragons. Dragon Lady.
What? This is... Okay. I have so many feelings.
Is this the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever?
I have so many feelings about this, Jeff. I can't...
Good feelings?
What's happening? I don't know. Like, my heart is just overwhelmed. Tell me how she feels about it.
It ruined her life. Yeah. Okay, she was never able to hold a job. It's crazy to me that she was 52 before she really sought real treatment for it, but...
And she was aware that these dragons were not real, but she could not help but react to them.
The worst part is that your face didn't start out as a dragon face. It transformed into a dragon face every time she looked at you. So you start out looking like you, and then it says she describes it as having black, long, pointy ears and a protruding snout, and displaying a reptiloid skin and huge eyes in bright yellow, green, blue, or red.
When does she remember this starting? What's the early, has this been her whole life?
It says lifelong. It's a lifelong affliction. Wow. And she saw dragon-like faces drifting towards her many times a day from the walls, electrical sockets, or the computer screen.
Why dragons?
And it happened in face-like patterns and not face-like patterns. She saw dragons in the dark when she would when the lights would go out in the dark.
Yeah.
And
Dragons in the Dark, by the way, a phenomenal Bjork album.
Right. It was her first real big hit. So they scanned her brain and they weren't able to find any obvious abnormalities in her brain. But she was put on this drug called rivastigmine?
You're just killing it.
Rivastigmine? I don't know. I should really prepare. It's an anti-dementia medication.
Okay, and how did it work?
It vanquished the dragons. They said she still sees them occasionally, but she's been able to hold down a job for the last 3 years since 2011. Wow. And it mostly got rid of the thing. But can you imagine going through your whole life?
Do they know why dragons?
No, they honestly have no idea. All they thought of was like, we'll take the anti-dementia meds, maybe it'll help, and it did.
Dude, okay. So, like I said, so many feelings. Number one, like you said, how did she get to age 52?
Right.
Before was she just not telling people?
Well,
was she trying to hold it in?
I can only imagine that when you start saying this, people think you're nuts.
Yeah.
Or you're super embarrassed about it,
Yeah.
or you freak out, or maybe if it happened her whole life, maybe she just thought it was normal. Like, is there a reality where she's not scared of it because it just constantly happened? She never knew a reality where that didn't happen.
I mean, I can't imagine there is that reality because she couldn't hold down a job and stuff.
Right.
She had to have known that she was perceiving things in a different way than others. Like, that had to have come up. She had to have told somebody, or at least hinted at it. Like, it's shocking to me that somebody got to the age of 52 before they were able to get help for this.
I know. That's the most shocking part. Yeah, it says that she was unable to hold down a job because the hallucinations interfered with her social interactions.
Of course they did.
Because she'd be like, "I'm here for the interview. Really excited about the. Oh my God, you're a dragon.
Okay, can I get your? I'm sorry.
You're a dragon.
No.
All right, Dragon Lord. I just have one request, that you don't breathe fire on me.
My name is Carol.
I've been fired at all of my jobs, and by fired I mean breathe fire on me.
I don't think that's ever happened to anyone.
I
don't think anybody's ever had fire breathed on them.
That is every job I've been to.
Okay,
and
well,
I just would like one goddamn job where I don't have to deal with dragon overlords. Does the dragons run this entire country?
Dude, how much did she believe it?
Yeah.
I can't how much did she believe it?
Well, have you heard of that crazy dude? I can't remember his name, that believes that there's reptilian.
Oh, sure, the reptile people, the reptiloids.
What if that's maybe that's what they all have? Those people who believe that.
Oh, wow. But they haven't seen the reptile people, the guy who talks about it.
I don't know much about it.
They mostly believe that there was a reptile race. But so many thoughts and feelings. So I just started reading this book, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about people who have these very specific hallucinations and these very specific sort of hallucinatory conditions and belief conditions where there is a disease where you genuinely believe you're dead, you have died, and nobody knows but you. But you feel like you're dead.
It's called Bruce Willis psychosis.
And people just they keep going on and they keep talking to people, but they know they feel in their hearts that they're already dead, so nothing they're doing matters.
Wow.
And so they're just like, it doesn't matter, I'm a corpse, it doesn't matter. And I don't know why people are talking to me like this because I'm dead.
Crazy.
It's crazy, and people believe that, and there are these things where people just have these very specific hallucinations or hallucinatory conditions, and it's just
there's so many ways the brain can get messed up. There's so many little things that can just go beep, and now you see dragons everywhere you look.
It's just these tiny connections.
Yeah,
it's millions of these tiny connections, and if one of them connects incorrectly or one of them connects in a faulty way, it completely changes your perception of everything. And I get really, when people talk to me about fears and horror movies and things like that. So oh man, I can't deal with horror movies about clowns. I can't deal with horror movies about zombies, whatever. I can't deal with body horror. My thing that creeps me out are the horror movies where people can't tell whether what they're perceiving is real or not.
Yeah.
That shit freaks me out because I worry about that.
Yeah.
I worry about that. So it's a fun question to ask when you get high, where it's like, what if I see red different than you see red?
Right.
But there's another question that's really messed up, which is what if I'm hallucinating most of my life, if not all of it?
Yeah. What
if I'm seeing things in a completely incorrect way and it's screwing me up and I will never know?
That's this lady's reality every day. That's what she's experiencing all the time. Is the thing that makes me crazy about her particular situation is if it started out when she was a kid, did she have context for a reptilian thing, or is that some sort of weird prehistoric, DNA level ancient memory that's kind of coming to the surface.
I mean, I would love to hear more details on this, because when they say lifelong, I mean, if it started when she was a child, I mean, hallucinations were probably there, but something would have had to have sort of crystallized those, like focus those into a dragon form, right?
Right.
Or there must have been some sort of visual input that decided dragons were what she was going to see.
Yeah.
That's what's nuts. Is like, this condition is probably not a dragon-based condition. This condition is some sort of condition that happens to people where people will see faces distorted in a different way, but her particular fear or thing or manifestation was dragons. That's nuts to me.
I mean,
do you worry about that? Do you worry about do you worry that you're not seeing reality the right way?
I have never had that particular anxiety.
No.
I've never had that particular feeling, but I understand what you're talking about. There's a lot of fiction based around that. There was just a movie. What's that movie that new horror movie that's out right now? We just reviewed it on Slash Film. I can't think of the title, but it's all about this mother going crazy because her kid's doing this weird stuff, and he keeps talking about Babadook.
Oh yeah, the Australian movie.
Yeah, you don't want to see Babadook if you have this particular fear, because it'll freak you out, because it's all about that.
Oh no, I do want to see it then.
It's good, and it's all about, like, the kid keeps going, the Babadook's standing right over there, Mom. Why don't you see the Babadook?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all about, like, why is my kid screwed up? I don't understand why he keeps saying this stuff about this Babadook. He's not. What's wrong with my kid?
Yeah.
I think that might even be more freaky to me than myself having it. If there's someone I know that's like, that's not happening. I don't know why you keep saying that's happening.
Yeah.
That's not happening. God.
Ooh. Two things that immediately pop into my head was, there's that Buffy episode where she may or may not be in an insane asylum and it all may be fake.
I don't watch Buffy.
Okay, well, that's one thing like that. That's a whole completely different discussion that is not germane to this podcast. And then the other one is that terrible Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2.
Oh, I didn't see the sequel either.
Yeah, but it's kind of about that, where it's like, the whole deal is they think that somebody is like a witch. They think that this person is like this crazy witch who's doing all this stuff, and then they watch the tape back the next day, and they realize that the person was screaming for help the whole time,
Wow.
and they had gone insane.
Crazy.
And they wound up killing this person.
Yeah.
Dude, and I mean, I'm serious. I think about stuff like that all the time, where it's like, am I perceiving reality correctly?
Yeah.
Am I seeing things correctly? Are entire swaths of my life not accurately remembered?
Yeah.
Or completely fiction? And how would you know?
There's almost every heroic action movie can be interpreted as the main character having this exact situation happen to them. You know, like, they don't understand everybody's after me, and there's Transformers. These cars turn into giant robots. There's this, you know, almost any movie where fantastical things happen, it could be interpreted as, like, if that actually happened, it would be, no, you're nuts.
Yeah. Well, the internet loves stuff like that, right? Like, you hear all these like fan theories where, oh, this person, what if it was just this person's dream, or what if this person died, or what if this person, or what if this person was crazy?
What if that whole last scene is
and I fucking hate that shit. Yeah. I hate that shit, because for me it's like, no, let's assume that
the movie happened as
let's assume that the writer told the story they wanted to tell. Because of our different upbringings, our different environment, our different brain chemistry, our different just our different physiology. Mm-hmm. There is no sort of objective reality.
Well, that's the thing too. That and memory fucks with you in such a your brain is not a recording device, it's an interpretation device.
Yes.
And that's what fucks me up too, is when you think of how much interpretation is going on where I'm lying to myself. And how many times in your life have you gone, I know this happened a certain way. I know it. I would bet anything on it.
Yeah.
And then somebody goes, that didn't happen that way. Look, I have a picture. And you're like, what? I was so certain that I did, you know.
I will misremember things. I will insert myself into things that were like.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that where it's just like, no, dude, that, like, you'll be talking to a friend and your friend will be like, no, dude, that was my story. That happened to me.
Or you do the thing
because it's years ago.
Yeah, and you've told the story a bunch of times, and now you put yourself in there.
Yeah.
Or the ones where you're like, oh, I remember this happened. Oh wait, no, was that a dream? Did I dream that, or was that an actual memory?
Yeah.
That is bizarre too.
That happens a lot with early childhood, especially.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing a lot lately of asking my parents, like, I recall this happening.
Right.
Is this the way this happened? And they'll be like, nope. And then sometimes, but here's what's crazy is because there is no objective reality, and because people do change their memories every time they access them, sometimes my parents will be totally wrong.
Yeah.
Even though I was 3.
Yeah.
I'll be like, didn't we go to this place when I was 3? And I was like, no, we never did that. And then I'll find a photo
Right.
or something. And I'll be like, right here, motherfuckers. Right here.
That's mother, father. I wish you would stop making a mistake.
Oh, no, I know what I'm saying.
Okay, if you had to have Dragon Lady syndrome, I know it's a big fear of yours, but if you had to have it, what would you pick?
Hallucinations are not a fear of mine.
Okay, well, what would you pick as your? Would you pick to see dragons? What would be? I mean, I know clowns are an awful thing. What would
I have to pick one horrible thing to turn, like, to see
all
people
get turned into? Yeah.
Ugh. Why would I pick that?
I don't.
No thing is better than any other thing.
Like,
in that
what about
situation.
like it's almost
because
like
what you're doing is you're picking something. You're asking me to pick something that's scary, but not particularly scary to me, right? You're asking me to pick the scary thing that would affect me the least.
I'm doing the same thing.
Because this woman has no choice. She sees a thing that fucking freaks her out.
Right.
Like
I'm doing the thing at the end of Ghostbusters where he's like,
choose the form of the
destructor. You know, it's like, well, what's the thing that you would not want to? I mean, I guess it's an unfair question, but
yeah,
like, would something cuddly and wonderful like puppies, puppy face people, would unnerve you? There's nothing that wouldn't unnerve you, right? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. No, gosh, I would turn everybody's face into. Yeah, it's all terrible. It's all terrible. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Turn them into ants, turn them into beetles, turn them into dragons, turn them into dogs, turn them into whatever. It still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
There's no permutation of this that is any better or any worse than any other permutation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a terrible thing. Wow.
This poor woman.
But that's what's crazy about it. And it also says something about, like you said, we don't know when we're perceiving things incorrectly. People who have mental illnesses or mental issues are afraid of vocalizing them.
Right.
People who are friends and family of these people don't know how to properly support them. Something happened. This woman made it to 52 years old without getting any help. And I don't like that. That's the most unsettling part of this story to me.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you this woman's name. Ursula K. Le Guin. I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
I didn't get it.
She wrote Earthsea, and I was saying she's a fantasy writer. Get it? Because she would see all the dragons and the... No? Nothing?
If you had gone Anne McCaffrey,
all right,
I would have been. I'm not a big fantasy. You know
okay. There was a part of me when I first read this story that was like, "That's awesome," but then the more we talked about it, it's horrible.
It initially, yeah. I mean, I think that's why the story got as much play as it did, is because this person sees dragons everywhere, and everybody goes, "Dragons!
Yeah!
High five! Game of Thrones!" Fucking, it's like, fuck you, man. That woman sees dragons. That's a paralyzing goddamn fear.
It is. Yeah.
Anyway, basically all we're saying is that it's really hard to get help for mental illness. So
so
that's a problem. And
all right, well, have a good afternoon, everybody.
The entire way you perceive reality could be wrong in a terrible, terrible way, and you wouldn't know it. Ugh.
But dragons are cool.
Dragons!
Yay!
High five! Golly. If you've seen a story like this that you think we should cover, please let us know. You can send it to wehaveaconcernshow@gmail.com.